Welcome everyone to the Goddess Temple. My name is Chris. And for today's message, what I have coming through is this pure joy and abundance for the way that you're showing up in your life and really settling into yourself, settling into your own story, settling into the way life has been working for you. And I want you to focus on that. Whether you feel like your life is chaotic or disruptive or just not fitting right. At the same time, there is another perspective to your life, which is that there is there are things that have worked out in your favor. There are things that you've received, that you've gotten, that you were looking for. However, it just doesn't look this way that you thought it would. It just looks a little different than the way that you thought it would. And it's important for you to acknowledge that just for yourself, for your own sake and sanity. Acknowledge, begin to build that capacity. Just as it's important for us to um, build and understand how there's danger around us and to be aware of our surroundings, our physical surrounding, it's also important to understand how to function internally, how to look at your internal emotions, how to feel your body, how to like understand the way that the stories are unraveling in your mind and your body, how to understand the way that you've moved around life, how to understand that the way people are moving around you, that they, you show up with such kindness and pleasantry, and then they thought, they can be smart and witty and, you know, push you over and take advantage of you. And you at the same time did not see it as being taken advantage of. However, other people that may have seen that very same situation and say that no, you were taken advantage of. The thing is, just because people are telling you you're taken advantage of, please don't fall into that. The reason why I'm saying don't fall into that is like, do it with discernment, please, 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 please. There's this little part where you being kind and gentle is not a failure. It's not something that is bad. It's not something that is weak, right? We're understanding more of that. We're seeing how people that are kind and gentle either begin to be abused uh, and turn bitter. But that bitterness and those volatile words and ways of being, it's out of survival. It's out of self-preservation, protection. So just understanding that basic mental, emotional, what is it, journey that someone can go through. It's also learning how to use it and to move through it with a little bit more of discernment, with a little bit more of finesse to build the skills that you don't have. That's all that it is. What you have, continue to build it. So if you're kind and you know how to be kind, continue to practice it. Do more of that. Be more kind. Use that to your advantage. So if that's a quality that you have, use that quality in whichever way that you show up in your world. Whichever job that you show up into, the family that you show up in, show up with that integrity. But know that no one can take advantage of that. And practice it. Practice how to be discerning of how you spend and give your energy. This has nothing to do with the fact that someone is taking advantage of you. We're going to shift away from that a little bit. I'm not saying that isn't true, and that probably is a possibility in your life. Yes. And it gets a little complicated to discern and understand when someone is doing something on purpose or someone is genuinely doing it just because that's all that they know what to do, and for them it was normal. um so we're not going to get into this, like, that little part of it. We're getting it more into focusing on you, turning that gaze that you've been taught to look outwards, turning it back within yourself, and truly looking at the way that you are stepping into your life. So, what are you good at? Are you great at giving a lovely experience? Are you good at, making someone feel like they are the whole world, that they're seen, that they're heard, that it's all there? What are you good at? Using that to your advantage. Continue to improve it. Improving it also looks like being discerning when someone is taking a little too much, and to give just the right dose to them without it depleting you, and finding other places that will replenish you, because there's other ways and other things in your life that do support you and gives you that energy to continue to give, and that might come from a different place, right? So being discerning and understanding the way that you move through your life, what you need, how you would need it, you will always be compensated for what you give, what you put out. And a lot of the time, you're not going to get it from one way, you're going to get it from other ways. And it's about honoring that. Honor yourself in the way that you're showing up. Don't rip yourself apart just because you're kind and you were a pushover. I'm sorry, man. No, it's not okay that you are putting down this part of you that is so natural to you, that there's a lot of people that it requires so much work for them to do that, but for you it's effortless. If anything, it's almost like you have an endless reservoir to give. You're just built that way, that you're so abundant with this ability to give. You're so abundant with it. And you're holding that back? Why the heck would you do that to yourself? That's not okay. Build yourself, strengthen yourself. There's other parts of you that will protect you, that will help you to be replenished more and more without you giving, over giving. Over giving, as in you're giving from a place of emptiness. But if you give from a place of overflow, that you have plenty for yourself, and then with even more, you're like, yes, please, I want to give more. It really changes you. It changes you in a way of understanding that it is an honor and a privilege that you give like this, that you show up in your world like this, that you are so perceptive like this, that you're loving like this. And it should not be taken advantage of. It should not be used as if there's an endless source, because that's BS. The person that is taking from you like that knows it. They do it because you keep letting them. And sometimes it's a bit of a harsh reality to acknowledge that you've opened yourself up and made yourself so readily available. And then it becomes a little strange when you start to take back a lot of the energy that you've given to others, and you're putting it back into yourself. You're like, this is selfish. This is kind of gross. But eventually you start to see the benefits of giving to yourself, of doing different things, of having such an abundant life. The reason why I say abundant life is, what I mean by that is there's so much to do, so much to give, so much to play with. And you just start to do that. And it's a lot of fun. It's so much fun to play with life, to move through it, to create the way that you do, to show up with such abundance, to not be taken advantage of, to give yourself even that time to heal yourself, to put back the pieces of your life by not putting it back together, but by just acknowledging that everything is scattered and that you didn't know that it was like this. Just to acknowledge that, it's something. And I really want you to acknowledge yourself at this time, at this moment. Just taking a deep breath and slowly let that out. And acknowledge yourself. Notice who you are. The kindness that you hold, the way that you move, the beauty that you see, the things that grabs your attention. It's beautiful. You may have not heard someone compliment you on it, or maybe you have and you're like, why are they complimenting me on it when it's something that's so normal? But in actuality, it isn't normal for them. It's not something that's effortless for them. It actually requires quite a bit for them to see that way, to observe life like that. And I want you to start to acknowledge yourself with your own genius, with what you're good at, with what you excel at. Play with your life. Admire who you are. Life is messy and magnificent in so many ways, and the same applies to you. You're messy and magnificent in so many ways. And the thing with life is that you're on a journey to understanding what it means for you to be you, purely, authentically, wholly you. Just acknowledging yourself. That's it. That's all that it is. Acknowledging the way that you move about life is it's something. It's fascinating, but it's something. Acknowledging every little part of you to discover who you are. Just like people around you are getting to know you, you're also getting to know yourself. But you're also getting to know yourself through other people's eyes, through other people's perceptions that you didn't realize that a lot of things you're good at. You didn't know that it wasn't universal. And seeing all these little parts, putting them all together, it's something. Seeing all parts of you, the good, the bad, the ugly, it puts all of you together. Somehow these fragmented parts of you, just by you looking at it, pieces everything together. And you understand how and why life has shaped you this way, and also how you can use it to your advantage to shape and build yourself, to build yourself up. The judgments that you were raised in, the perceptions that you were taught to look out for, the dangers, the stories, the implications, all of that that you were taught to look out for, you're starting to notice that It was all BS. And it's time for you to look at yourself differently in a way that makes the most sense for you, that allows you to be in integrity, to be in alignment, and that their perception of you is always going to be there. These people's um, judgments are going to be there. However, those judgments for them is truth, and those truths that they do not see, the truth that they do not see, they will see it, or they may never. That should not dictate whether you should operate in truth or not. It does not mean that you need to operate in secrecy. You can be loud and exuberant, and you will still get pushback, but you can still show up in a safe environment, in a safe space. Safety does not only extend to physical safety, but also mental, emotional safety, environmental safety. And we understand that. We're understanding more and more of that, right? We're practicing that. And it's becoming more of a global practice than, just in certain situations or certain classes, even. Sorry, I just felt this really heaviness just because of um, acknowledging a lot of the pain that, not only acknowledging, but it's like belittling a lot of the pain that um, some people have gone through, or some people that are going through it. Mm. But it's not just on other people, but it's yourself too. Acknowledging your own pain that you belittled, that you thought was normal, or that you are resilient for, moving through it, and just not realizing how much of what you had seen and what you had moved through gave you so much strength and power to be able to move through it. And when you get to that place where you begin to acknowledge it, and it has nothing to do with, oh, I need to pick up myself up anymore, but it's just you've gone past whatever you needed to, and you've healed yourself. And now you're seeing everything that you've been through since. You're like, it just becomes heavy. Because for once, you're acknowledging your pain without being reactive, without feeling like you're reliving it and wondering if it was real or not, or if your choices were ideal or not, or how and why it had harmed someone when it had nothing to do with them, or that you had chosen what you had chosen because it was right for you. All of these stories just start to drop. All of these limitations start to drop. When you hit to that point, this is when life truly starts taking place in a complete different manner. And you're transcending your life. You're transcending the life you have been raised with, these stories, and you're living your highest version of existence. that is possible. It's possible in this lifetime. And I really want you guys to understand that it's possible for you. I want you to take in a deep breath and slowly let that out. Acknowledge the way that you feel in your body. Settle into it. Notice and become aware of your surroundings. Know that you don't have to be in a rush to go back to doing whatever you were doing before. And that this can exist, that you can exist in this space. That you can exist even with whatever that you're feeling and be safe and be secure and be supported. And so, with that little bit, I'm going to be leaving the message here. I wish you guys all the best, and I will speak to you soon.